I smell red songbird. Michelle Bird song. Eve, mother of all living, daughter of the sun. You're looking at the son of the sun. We're going to sing that one. This is the son of the sun, Michael Bublé. Okay, where do I begin? Asparagus decoded. A-S for as. P for presented. P-A-R for par, on par. A for A, G for garden. U-S for us. As presented on par, a garden. For us. U for you, Adam. D-A, D-A-G-G-Y for daddy. Adam, you daddy. S-H-E, she for E-V-E, Eve. She, Eve. Ma. M for M, A for A. Ma, you, mommy. Daddy and mommy. Of Cain, Captain Devin Gangadine, Abel Michael Phelps, Seth Will Smith. These are the inhabitants of the Garden of Eden. A1 Melanie L. Spear, Azura Robin Michelle Birdsong. The fruits and vegetables from the ground and the trees are on par with the love the Creator has for Eve. Eve, mother of all living, is Venus, goddess of love. Love is what she's always giving. Love is what she's plenty of. Though she takes quite a ribbing, 'cause folks think she's kidding. With a straight face, she's admitting she's having babies by God and God's Son, though no physical touching was ever done. The thought of love felt in the heart is how new life becomes art, part of the family of God's heart. H-E for he, A-R-T for art. He art in heaven, on earth. Earth's new birth. From Mother Eve, God decreed, because he is most pleased with Eve. The mother of all living. The mother who's always giving. God is giving Eve the earth and all its worth. That goes also the universe. Matthew 7:11. If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things, with which is heaven. Earth is now heaven. For Eve and those she birthed, and those she deemed have worth, those willing to work, to do their part, from the heart, from the heart, from the heart. Gurinder Singh said, do it from the heart, or not at all. As a singer, singing to the same, as a singer of love songs, he skyrocketed to fame again and again, singing to the same girl in his different forms. Mary Magdalene, he finally found her form, this life, his wife, his spice, and satsang. She took a licking. Satsangis had misgivings, refused to be civil. You can say they were to her evil, like the bold weevil. We evil, we devils, too vile to smile. Talking about the satsangis to Eve, make Eve servile. She's like a child. Oh my God, that was the key. Matthew 18:30, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. You wrote a book, The Cure for Death, talking to Eve. Jessica Turner Mentier said she would love to read it and give you feedback. It wasn't a especially thick book, but she said she had to take it home to read. You waited and waited just as you have to wait in line while Jessica gabs it up with Rona or some other. Finally, one day you asked Jessica if she was finished reading the book, The Curse of Death. Imagine, someone's found a cure for death. Eve has, guided by God. Jessica said, I'll have to look around the house for it, for the book. Mild-mannered, mild-read Michelle couldn't understand how someone could misplace somebody else's book, especially when you told her it was your only copy, especially when it contained the remedy for death. You asked her if she bought the book in one day in front of Chris. You expressed your belief that the forces of darkness don't want death to end, and her excuses for not bringing the book back was deliberate, and her excuses of trying to psych you out until you forget about the book, as if you're so crazy you make up the concept of ending death. She knows you co-wrote the children's storybook, Sneezy the Greasy Babysits Abigail. She knows you wrote the lyrics for the Edwin Birdsong album, What It Is. She may even know you wrote the lyrics for Edwin's second album, Supernatural. In other words, Jessica knows you're a professional writer. She must have read some of the book because she commented how thorough you make your points like a reporter. You told her she's accurate in her assessment of your writing style. You are an investigative journalist, having been as Sherlock Holmes. The photograph you took of Jessica in your room showed her eyes are almost closed. She pointed it out. She said her eyes used to be wider open. I think, now I'm writing in the first person, I think she has experienced so many ugly sights working here as an RN. What she mostly does is dispense drugs called meds, short for medication, and bullshit. She bullshits. Apparently the staff's job description is to act happy, act cheerful, lift the spirits of the mentally disturbed, drugged clientele. But not really. Don't make them feel so much better they'll get their hope and self-confidence back. When Adam, being as Michael Bublé, was appearing at Madison Square Garden, I asked Maria, who manages the client finances. She said the other day, I should write the truth about St. Francis. That's what I'm doing. I asked Maria if I gave her cash $168, which she added to a credit card so I can buy a ticket online to Adam's, I'm Eve, concert. Adam currently being as Michael Bublé. Obviously, I was excited at the possibility of meeting Adam this life. When his wife had a baby, I walked into Duane Reade on 8th Avenue between 16th and 17th Street before they went out of business. Michael Bublé's song was playing, I Just Haven't Met You Yet. Duane Reade was poorly managed. I'm not surprised it closed down. Chinese kids used to eat their Subway sandwiches there, sitting on the freezers and tops on the floor, crowding the customers. They do the same things in Starbucks across the street. Ever since a black guy sitting around not buying anything in Starbucks was asked to leave so a paying customer could sit, and he cried racism, and the establishment media publicized Starbucks as racist. Starbucks and other businesses are afraid to stick up for themselves and their customers. Jessica's afraid to show how she really feels about the disgusting-looking people here. If your mind is twisted, so is your body. If your mind is nasty, so is your body. The nastiest guy here, I accidentally walked in his room one day and I saw a huge pile of shit on his table. It was him. I read energy. Jessica told me, not knowing of my experience, I didn't tell anyone. Jessica told me that this guy, Paul, wanted me to take his picture and put it on one of my collages I do with clients' photographs. I do collages with clients' photographs. I said no. I once spoke to him and he ignored me. Someone said the people on my collages are my friends. Some are, some aren't, but none are a pile of poop. Maria said to Jessica that another lady had complained about the way Paul had treated her. Anyway, Maria looked at Jessica as to what she should do. Apparently, she had a bad experience with letting clients use St. Francis credit cards, even though it wasn't going to be in my hand. Maria was to make the purchase. So Maria looked at Jessica. All of a sudden, Jessica wasn't happy-go-lucky as a lark. She said to Maria as though I wasn't there, no, don't do it. And like her underling, Maria followed Jessica's order. Excuse me. And I didn't get to see Adam, Michael Bublé. Instead of singing, I Just Haven't Met You Yet, he can sing, I Still Haven't Met You. Although I was only 16 blocks away from you at Madison Square Garden, like the Garden of Eden, where we first met, Eve. Yeah, Jessica, closing her eyes to the serious responsibility of removing a book that could end the tyranny of death for the world, is like her closing her eyes to the death threat that I got on my cell phone. She called Chris in to tell him about it, but I'd already told Chris. He told me to tell Jessica. Father Tom, the treasurer and co-founder of this place, St. Francis of Assisi Residence 3, overheard the conversation. He asked if the call came from outside. I said yes. He didn't say any more about it, and neither did anyone else. Father Tom, they just passed the buck here. Father Tom, like Maria, and Jessica was able to say no to me. One day I asked him if I could tape some of my collages of photos of people here out in the lobby. Oh, people here eating outdoors and playing music and writing and writing group. I have photographs of them cooking for Vegetarian Friday group. I have photos of people in art group. Father Tom said no. Why not? The only reason I can see is it would really lift some people's spirits, their self-esteem. They might feel important. I'll put some, and if the people become normal, they don't need to be here. If they don't need to be here, the staff don't need to be here. Of course, there are always other people who need to be here. Okay, so, where am I? I put some collages in the hall. Sheila or Jessica took them down. One client, Gretel, had actually read some of the writing I'd written about people on the collages. At that time, I was trying to help awaken people's interest in themselves and their neighbors. Father Tom ended my dream. They want things, the staff want things to stay the same. They don't want any growth. I gave up on the people on the staff. I stay in my room and write. I even eat in my room when I have the money. I used to share my findings in my energy reading and in my uncensored writing and in revelations given to me by the Father, the Son, and his son, my brother, Angel Gabriel, now being Guru Govinda Singh, who has being as Jesus Christ, being as Charan Singh in him, in Govinda Singh. I saw Charan Singh using remote viewing. I was using remote viewing, and I saw Charan Singh entering Govinda Singh, feet first, into